Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I am filming my mid-year freakout book tag where I'm gonna answer the questions for the tag, basically checking in with my reading so far this year. I actually have already read 189 books. My goal is on 200 and we still have 6 months left. So I don't know what's going on there, but I was gonna read less and I haven't. That's basically what happened. I have procrastinated other things in my life, but at the same time I haven't really had that much other than reading going on, except one thing that which I have been avoiding, but hopefully I will be done with that now in the summer. And then I'm also starting my master's after the summer, so I'm just assuming I will read less, but probably still quite decent amount. We shall see. Without further ado, let's answer the questions. So the first one is, what is the best book you read so far this year? You can kind of glance it down here. I actually struggle a bit, like, what is the best book? I feel like I haven't read like a book this year which is like a favorite, but I have read 5-star books. One of them being, if I can grab it, Yellowface, obviously, by R.F. Kuang. I want to show off my editions. I have more, but they haven't arrived. And I love this. I knew I was gonna love this. It wasn't a surprise for me or anyone else. I don't think I love it as much as other R.F. Kuang, but I obviously still love it. So this one follows our main character that steals the book of her dead Asian friend, which follows like a Asian storyline and like Asian history and Asian characters. And then she gets kind of called out for this and different things ensues. It's a lot about, like, in a way, cancel culture, but also about how publishing works. A lot of commentary on that. Very, very interesting, very well done. Absolutely crazy and dramatic. Exactly what I love. And obviously I loved it. I knew I was going to. So a lot of love for this. I wouldn't consider it maybe my favorite book of all time, but definitely one of my favorite reads ever. And I have nice sprayed edges, which looks cool, which I'm happy about. Then the next question is, what is the best sequel you have so far this year? And for that I have Night Shadow by Sebastian D. Castell. This is the sequel to The Traitor's Blade, which I didn't love. Like, I thought it was fine, like 3 stars, and it follows these greatcoats, which were kind of the warriors, or like the, what's gonna say, army force of the king that fell. So they're like disgraced and people like, you betrayed your king, blah blah blah. And then we're kind of following them returning, or at least going on missions together still. Like, they're still alive and doing stuff. You need to read the book to find out. This one blew my mind away in the plots, in the brutality, in how the things played out. I just didn't expect it to go as far as it did. I think the whole, like, was gonna say, overview of the story, I didn't see it as clearly in the first one, but here in the second one I really felt like it was much clearer and like much more exciting to read about. So I absolutely ended up loving this, and I gave it like 5 out of 5 stars. So it's definitely like the best sequel I read. A huge surprise for me as well, which I'm very happy about. So very much recommend. Now the next question is, new release you haven't read yet but really want to. I have 3 answers for this. First, I really wish I read The Sun and the Star by Rick Riordan and Marco Shiro. This one is kind of a new Percy Jackson book, or not a Percy Jackson book, but a Camp Half-Blood book, where we follow Nico from like the other books. But I haven't finished Trials of Apollo. I know Magna Chase has nothing to do with it, but I want to read them all in order, so I can't read that yet. And a new Percy Jackson book is even coming later this year, and I can't read that yet because I haven't read all the other ones. I know you probably maybe don't have to, but I'm just the kind of person who wants to. So because of that, I haven't read it, and I'm sad about it. And I was supposed to read all Rick Riordan last year, and I didn't, so this is the karma for that. Then I have Fractional Noise by Christopher Paolini. This one is, I don't think it's a sequel to Sleep in the Sea of Stars, but it's set in the same world, and I really, really love To Sleep in the Sea of Stars, so I'm sad I haven't read this yet. I haven't actually gotten my copy yet. Like, I ordered it, and I realized now when I was preparing this video, it hasn't arrived. So I'm just curious to see, like, when was this supposed to ship? I don't know. It was released in May, but like, I ordered a special copy. I don't know when that was supposed to ship. And then I also have Page Boy by Elliot Page. This one is the memoir from the actor, and I really want to read it. It seems interesting. They didn't have the copy I wanted in the store. I'm too lazy to order it. but I think in August I will be able to get the copy I want. Then the next question is the most anticipated releases for the rest of the year. There's probably a lot of books coming I have totally missed, but there's 2 on my mind that I will not forget, which is obviously Threads of Power by Rita Schwab. This one is the first book in a new trilogy set in the Shades of Magic world, which is obviously one of my favorites. How many copies will I buy of this? I don't know. I already ordered 2. That's just the beginning, but I'm just so excited and very scared, but I cannot wait. And then I also have Sword Catcher by Cassandra Clare. This one is a new, complete new series by the author. It's not set in Shadowhunters. It's an adult fantasy. And I just feel like I'm gonna love it. I feel like it's gonna be the drama, it's gonna be the world building, it's gonna be really great. I cannot wait for it, and I'm also a bit scared, but I need it, okay? So 2 complete new series, kinda, from 2 of my favorite authors. I'm all in. Now for next question is your biggest disappointment. And I have several I could answer with this. I just went with one of them, which is Silver Under Nightfall by Rin Chapeko. All I knew about this is, first of all, it is Rin Chapeko, who I have enjoyed a lot before. But it is also Poly Vampires, which, if you're not sold on that premise, I don't know what would sell you. But I was sold, and I was very excited. But just how the story was told was just so not for me. I just couldn't follow the story. It was just so an interesting plot, like we're investigating into this like virus that is affecting the vampires, and then also has to do with our main character's mother's murder. And I just hated how it was told, and I'm so sad about it, because I again really have enjoyed Rin Chapeko's other books, and I don't have words how disappointed I was in this. So I'm sad to say it, but that is just how it is. And then the next question is the biggest surprise, which I feel it could be Night Shadow, but I don't like to repeat my answers. But I have others. So first we have Along the Razor's Edge by Rob J. Hayes. So this one I read for my latest reading Booktuber's favorite books, which was Covers with Cassidy, who told me to read this. And I just didn't have any expectations. And I'm just very surprised of how much I truly loved it. Like, I couldn't stop reading. I was so into the book. I was just blown my socks off a bit, because I just didn't know I was gonna love it that much. I don't know really why I loved it that much. Like, I think about it now and it's like not the most amazing book ever, but my enjoyment was so high, which I love for myself. But in this one, we are following this character who is in like a prison in the ground. Is it called the pit? No one escapes the pit, yes. And she was a magic user, and we also get these kind of flashbacks of when she grew up and was learning how to use her magic, etc. Now that she's trying to escape the pit, because obviously she doesn't want to stay there. So will she be able to escape? How is that going to connect with her past? So it's kind of, I think, a very cool introduction to the world, as well as the characters, because we are set in this one place and we really get to care about them. And at the same time, we get a lot of like foreshadowing for how she will be in the future, which is very different from where we are now. So I really love that in the writing. It made me very intrigued to read next, which is definitely what the author was doing on purpose. And I really loved it. And I'm very surprised by how much I loved it. So that is why it's here. I needed to answer another book for this question as well, which is Renation by Anthony Reynolds. So this one is a League of Legends book following the events that happened to make the Shadow Isles in the League of Legends world. And I thought I would like it because I love League of Legends, I love the lore, the game, even though I also kind of hate it, but that's how I all feel. And I just didn't expect it to be this good. Like, it was just so good. Just the story, even though you know what's gonna happen if you know with the game, captured my heart, seeing the different characters that we know and love, and just how the plot played out. Even though, again, I knew exactly what was going to happen, I just felt so much emotional turmoil is the right word, and I was just like screaming, totally losing it for it, and it was just the best time ever. So because of that, obviously it was a huge surprise, because I didn't expect it to be so good. I thought it would be good, but I didn't think it would be like actually amazing. So I don't know how they did it, but they did it. So the next question is a new favorite author. And I had a long think on this because I actually don't know. I feel like it takes a lot for me to consider someone my favorite author, but it could also just be an author you really, really enjoy. So I chose out Mieko Kawakami, which is a Japanese author. I first read her when I read Heaven, which I read for one of my booktubers' FAES for Cecilia. And I thought it was really weird, and I was just like, this is interesting. Very interesting, but weird. Then I read Breast and Eggs earlier this year. It's like a month ago. And then this month, or last month, I guess, I read Miss Ice Sandwich, which is like a very short kind of story. And they're all like super, super weird. Like they are like bafflingly weird, which is like falls into like a certain genre, I think, in like Japanese fiction, because you notice like a really like a weird pattern, which I enjoy. And I just feel like I really, really enjoyed this author's style specifically. It reminds me of like Murakami, but like, I was gonna say better, but a bit more like grounded maybe, just because Murakami can be really like up there. Very, very enjoyable author that I want to read all the works for that I can. Wish I practiced my Japanese more so that I could read it originally in the language. That would be very cool. Maybe that can be a goal for when I'm 75. But just an author really recommend, especially if you're interested in like Japanese fiction, etc. So I think this is a good answer for me. Then we have my newest fictional crush. I'll be honest, I don't really get like crushes and stuff in books anymore. I like to like either hate them or appreciate them or love them, but I never feel like I want to like, I was gonna say be with them, but I guess a crush doesn't mean you necessarily want to be with them. But that is how I feel like it felt like back in the day when this tag was made, you know, like, love Peter Millark from Hunger Games. I wanted to marry Peter Millark from Hunger Games, but I don't feel that way anymore about books. But I found something, which is Caris from The Inadequate Heir, which is the third book in the British Kingdom series. So here we have like the new love interest. The last love interest, I didn't like him. But I really love Caris. He reminded me of the really type of character I love. And he was just kind of my baby. I would, what to say? I would say hi to him. Flirt with him. He's like a pretty smart boy that everyone underestimates. And I love that. And he really grew on me. He's just, as I said, a type of character I really enjoy. A type of character I would write myself. Yeah, I mean, Sarah would 10 out of 10 also, I was going to say do her, which sounds really nasty. But I just meant that Caris' personality and his type of person. Yes. Yes. Sarah's like, you know, warrior, commander stuff. I'm like, nah, I don't like that. So, but I really like her, you know. So, I want the next book in this. When is that coming? I need it. I'm as surprised as you as I ended up reading the British Kingdom series. But here we are. That could have been the biggest surprise, but yeah. I said I don't like to repeat my answers, but the next question is your newest favorite character. And I want to answer Falkio from the Grey Coats, who is the main character. He's kind of like the commander of the Grey Coats. And in this, he just grew on me so much. I just love him. I love him so much. And especially after the events of this one, hope he's okay. And I want to read the next to see where like the journey of his character goes a lot. So I would consider him a new favorite character, which again was really hard to pick. Some of these questions is like, I don't know, I don't think about stuff apparently. I usually don't like to count rereads in this, but the next question was a book that made you cry, and I couldn't think of any other book that I cried in, except my reread of Darius the Great is Not Okay and Darius the Great Deserves Better by Abby Coram. So this follows Darius, who's gay, who needs to travel to Iran to visit his family because his grandfather is sick. He gets his first friend, he struggles with depression, etc. and his relationship with his father in the first one. And this one, I wouldn't say like things are resolved, but things that was a really like in front conflict in the first one now has just created other conflicts, which were my heart. I don't remember if I cried in the first one again. I was definitely like teary. But for some reason, the second book got me this time. Tears were running down my face. So I'm counting it. And they are amazing. One of my, for some reason, favorite contemporary YA duologies ever. I'm saying for some reason because it's so weird that I love specifically these so much. they just like capture my heart and they're not going away. So here we are, and I will recommend them forever. I want a third book though. Can someone tell the author that? I want more. And now for a book that made you happy. I have many books that makes me happy, but I was just thinking I could answer Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, which was the first secret project of his secret projects. And it made me happy because it follows Tress, who goes out on these adventures to find her love. And it was just like this adventurous, not like completely middle grade, but a bit of the vibes of it. Beautiful story with found family and humoristic side characters and just an adventure and a dragon and just the whole vibe of it. It made me happy. It made me feel good and warm. And even when like sad stuff was happening, it didn't feel sad. So it captured my heart. And this was almost like my favorite read of the year. But like then I was thinking like, what do I love? Trust? Do I love Yellowface? You know what I mean. But very, very good. So it made me really happy. Now I want to reread it, maybe on audio. But the audio is not available for me. But a happy, cute book. Then the next question is the most beautiful book you got this year. I would count Trust, but I already used that. So I'm gonna answer something else. Which was hard because I had a lot of books and I couldn't remember which ones I got this year. But I have some kind of answer. I just picked, actually, honestly, I was just panicking and I just picked Ninth House and Hellbent by Lee Verdugo, the Illumicrate editions. They are stunning. They are really, really pretty. I really love them. They have such a great look. And can we look underneath? Ooh. Look at that. Just like the aesthetic of them. I loved it. So when I saw them, I fell in love. And obviously I bought them. I would have bought them anyway. Truly some of the prettiest books I own, honestly. And dang. Hello, Darlington. And yeah. So that's what I got to say. I don't have more about these. But some of the most beautiful ones. I have a lot of others and it's hard, okay? And then the last question for this tag is a book or books you really, really want to get to by the end of the year. And I have 2 answers for this and I only think one of them will actually happen. So first we have The Klima Quartet by Maja Lunde. This one was picked out in series I need to finish this year. I done all the other series on that list except this one. I don't know what that tells you, but I didn't love the first book, but I do want to complete the series. I'm procrastinating. Obviously I had like 6 months to finish 3 books. I think I will be fine, but I wanted to do like a second part of that video, and then it would have been nice if I would have finished these by now. I definitely could have, I just never did. So I have obviously book 2 and 3 and 4. I need to read them and I will by the end of the year, but I wish I'd done it already. But yeah, bleh. This is the one that will happen. The next one probably won't. Which is to finish The Rest of the Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. I just took like the next series that I am in, which is the Rin Wild Chronicles. And I've read the first one of that, and I now have 2, 3, and 4. And then obviously I have the last hit series. And I don't think it's gonna happen. I had it as a goal this year to finish Realm of the Elderlings. I read book 1 in January and I haven't read one since. And I read them really slow. So I don't know. I want it to happen. I really do. But will it happen? Probably not. Just like I didn't read Rick Ryan last year. But yeah, I would like to. I would really like to. Especially if I finish the other one I just talked about. I need to pick out a new series. And it might not even be these. So there's that. That is it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed seeing me talk about some books. I don't think I will reach 300 books this year. I hope I don't. Even though there's 6 months left. And I am already ish on 200. But I think I will slow a lot down for the last months. So we shall see. Thank you so much for watching. You shall see me soon in a new one. Leave a dragon emoji down below if you have enjoyed this, and you should see me soon. Goodbye!